Hey everyone, back again for our last project. So once again, just before I start, I will check to make sure the technology is working. If anyone is still with me live, then just give me a like and a comment and tell me that you can hear me and see me. I've got a bit more shadow on my work area now because I've got the light on, so I hope that doesn't cause a problem. So for our last project, we're going to be making a, what did I call it? A double pocket treat holder, or you could call it a tea bag holder, because the double pocket is because it's got two sides. So you can use tea bags, coffee bags, you could even put you know, after dinner mints or something like that in it. As you can see, there's more width there than what most tea bags would have. So yeah, and it's even got a nice little space in the middle there, which I will show you when we're finished what I'm going to put in mine. So this sample one that I just used some retired paper, and just to give you an idea of what that was my practice one to make sure it all went together all right. So you'll need your scoreboard, or either a scoreboard or your trimmer with the scoring blade. So just remember that if you're using the trimmer with the scoring blade, it's the pale grey one. So just get your push your cutting blade right out of the way. And if you think you're still going to accidentally cut it, you can always take your cutting blade out by there's a little down this bottom end of this clear lever is a wider section. That's how you replace your blades. You just move it to that wider section and pull it out. Okay, so but if I have given you a full sheet of DSP, you'll need your cutter to trim it down. I don't think I have, because I think to fit it in the mail I had to cut it down for you, but you'll be able to check the measurements of that either on your trimmer or your scoreboard. So I'll just make sure you can see my scoreboard. This is a very old scoreboard, but it still works a treat. So your DSP will measure. Now all of these measurements are in inches. I am sorry, but I got this idea from another demonstrator. I think she might be American, and her name is Karen Titus, and she did all hers in inches. So I just wanted to stick with that. So yes, your DSP will measure 8.5 inches by the full 12-inch width of a full sheet of DSP. So if you're making this again, you just get a full sheet of DSP 12 by 12 out and just cut it down to 8.5 inches. And that's all you need to do from the get-go. So then put that either in your scorer or in your paper trimmer. If you are using this score blade, just bear in mind with DSP, the scoring mechanism on this is a bit thinner than a normal scoring tool. If you're using a ball scorer like this, or even your bone folder. This one's kind of a bit finer, which means if you press too hard, you may actually damage your paper. So just be aware of that you don't press too hard when you're scoring it. You can always go over it again if it's too, if it's not scored enough. I'm just going to be using the one that fits in the end of the Take Your Pick tool, because I find that one really easy to use. All right, so our first scoring measurements are going to be along the short side of the paper. Okay, so before you start scoring it, you need to decide which side of your paper you want to see most of. So by the time you put your tea bag in, really, you're not seeing most of the reverse side at all. So whichever side you want to see the most of on these panels is the side that's going to be facing up. Okay, my side of this one is just a solid, it's got a textured pattern on it, but yeah, I want the pretty paper, I want the pretty side. Alrighty, so you're on the short side, you've got your main design face up, and your first score mark is going to be at 2.5 inches. Okay, so 2.5. If you need to go over it a couple of times, I prefer to start off lighter and then go over it a couple of times. And then your next, so that was 2.5 inches, and then you're going to do it at 6 inches. So only 2 score marks on this short side. Okay, make sure I got that right. 2.5 and 6. All right, and then we're going to rotate it so that we're scoring on the long side, and we're going to start with 1 1/4, 1 1/4, okay, then 2 1/2, 2 1/2, okay, then next one is 5 inches, and last one is 6 inches. Okay, so you should have had 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 5 inches and 6 inches. Then we are going to do the same measurement scoring from the other end. So we're literally just going to flip that over like that. So you've still got the long side up there, and do the same again. 1 1/4. Oops, nearly got that wrong. Oh, 1 1/4. There we go, that's better. 1 1/4, 2 1/2. Scoring is something, if you're not used to doing it on a scoreboard, it takes a little bit of practice, because you'll find that if you press too lightly, your scorer will actually run off track. So it's just a bit of practice, just working out how firm you can press. So that was 2.5. So now we do 5, and the last one is 6. We don't need to do that again because 6 is halfway of the 12-inch paper. So there should be already a 6-inch one scored there. Okay. So that is all the scoring. You can put your scoreboard away now. Just bear with me while I realised I forgot to plug my phone in, and it will die if I don't do that. So I'll just make sure that is working. Yep. And sorry, I just need to quickly blow my nose. Starting to cool down here now, so nose is starting to drip a little bit. All right, so now what we need to do is burnish most of those score lines. So to fold them, flip over to the wrong, I'm going to call it the wrong side, and we'll start folding in the ones along this long side. Okay, so you should have 2 of those on the long side, and then on the short side, just fold in, don't fold this first one at the top, go the second one, fold that in, and the same at the bottom. So you should still have a little score line in between where you've just folded and that one, but that's going to get folded back in the other direction, so that's fine. And now that you've burnished those score lines, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out all 4 of those squares. Okay, so you can tell it's a perfect square on all 4 corners. We're going to cut them off completely. So just cut along the score line. And don't throw those away, because even though they've got a score line in the middle of them, I think you should be able to use those for something. Such beautiful paper. So I've got several squares. I've made several of these now in practicing for the class. So I've got lots of pretty squares cut, and even if you think your edge isn't straight enough to make something out of the full square, you could cut them down slightly with your trimmer, or a square die or a square punch or something like that. I'll just pop those away. So now your piece should look like that. So now what we're going to do, actually there are a couple of other score lines that we needed to burnish. So as you're looking at it like this, the next score line in from this flap, the next one in, I want you to fold, fold that one in as well. Yes, we could have burnished that one when we did all the others, but that's all right. We can do it now. And the reason for that is we need to see where that fold is, because we are now going to take each of these corners and just fold it in to meet that next score line. And it's a lot easier to do that if you've already If you've already burnished it, it's just more obvious to see where that is. Give those a really good crease. So it's again forms a perfect square, the same size as what we cut out. So we're just folding the triangle. We're going corner to corner so that it looks like that. And I have accidentally torn that. I don't know how I've done that, but I will stick it with some double-sided tape on the inside and nobody will know. Okay. Okay, so I might just if I put some double-sided tape on that, I just want to make sure it's still going to fold all right. Let's just see what happens, eh? We'll make it work. I'm obviously not going to peel the back off it. I just want if I get my bone folder and just do that to this tape, then there we go. Oh, it's a bit yucky on that side. Put some glue on that. And just bear with me while I patch mine up. I must have, just as I was flipping it over, I must have just been a bit rough. Well, I'm not going to do that now. Let's just pretend that's not there. Okay, so we're back over on this side and we've got our four corners folded in like so. So is that hope that's making sense? Just bear with me for a second. I'm just double checking my technology again. Yep. Oh, hi, Kerry's back. That's great. Okay. So now, as it's in this position, we're going to fold these flaps in like so that they overlap. Okay, so now you've got a piece that looks like that. Very simple. And now, the two score lines, so one of the score lines is in the middle. It's a bit hard to, you can't see them from this side now, but if you flip it over, the score line that's in the middle, there are two score lines either side of it. So remember, we scored at 6 inches, which is in the middle, but we also scored at 5 inches on each side. So those 5-inch score lines we need to bring in like that. Okay, so you'll be able to see the middle one there, which we're not bending at the moment. We're just folding those two in like that. Okay. And what happens is when you do that, you bring it together like that, and you can see our, oh, I've done it the wrong way around, sorry. Yes, you do need to fold it. Okay, so you've got this bit here. You need to flip it and then fold it. Sorry about that. It doesn't matter that we've done that. We can... Oh, every other one that I made, I forgot that as well. Oh, and look, we'll be able to see that double-sided tape there, so I shouldn't have put it there. So now, when we've done that, you can see that it's taking shape as our tea bag holder. Okay, so I'm going to just go over that again. We had it this way to fold those flaps in, but then we flipped it and we're folding those, not the very middle one, but the two score lines either side of the middle, just to bring those two sides in together like that. And this is then when we will fold these top bits back the other way. And so you end up with the same design at the top, which just about covers my tape that I put there. That's okay, I can always stick another piece of DSP across there to disguise that later on. I'll do that, but we'll work on this side so that we'll call this my front. All right, so that is your basic shape, tea bag shape. Now that score line in the middle, you might be wondering, well, what's the point of that? I did wonder that too. If you just push your thumb in the middle of the bottom there, it will do that. Okay, so it just gives it a little bit of a concertina at the bottom, and the whole thing just seems to sit a bit nicer on your table if it's got that score line in it. Also means that if you could actually put that in the post, even with a couple of tea bags either side of it, you could actually mail that, so it wouldn't be too thick to mail, but without that score line at the bottom, it would be a little bit more difficult to do that. So what we're going to do now is glue these two flaps down. So I'm just going to use double-sided tape for that. You could use your tape runner if you want to. I'm just going to put one. You could put 2 strips if you want to, but I think one's probably... Oops. Don't need my scorer end now, I need my pokey tool end. So just fold that down, and the same on the other side. Oh, done it again. I don't know how I must be catching, I must have caught the double-sided tape on it. I'll fold that one down as well. And now there's a couple of different ways you can secure that at the top. You could punch a couple of holes in that and thread your ribbon through there. But what I did was I actually glued these two pieces together at the top, and then I just tied my ribbon around. So you please yourself, just be aware not to make sure that whatever tape you're gluing it together with doesn't go over that score line there. So just keep an eye on that. You only need that on one side, and just be careful as you're lining that up to make sure it's all straight and even. And there you go. That is your tea bag holder, and you can tie your ribbon around the top. How much ribbon do I need? So once you've made this once, obviously the when you make it again, it's a lot faster. I'm just using the this one is Parakeet Party, which was one of last year's in colours that's still current, and it's the ribbon that came out in I think it's called glitter ribbon, metallic woven ribbon it's called. So I've actually run out of that gold that I included in your kit, which was from the I'll probably do that a bit tighter, but that's okay. The gold that I put in your kit comes in a 2-pack with silver and the gold, and it is called the Silver Trim Combo Pack. And the reason they've called it the Silver Trim Combo Pack is because if you look closely at the gold one, when one side of it, it's got kind of silver and gold through it. So yeah, it's quite nice, quite a nice, you'll see that from the one I included in your kit. So, and then one tea bag in there, and the other tea bag in that side. And I told you I would show you what I'm doing, what I'm going to put in the middle there. I've got these little individual wrapped biscuits. So I mean that would just slide out if you set it in there loose. So I'm just going to put a couple of glue dots on my biscuit, and I won't put it in that one because that's the dodgy one that has got the tape showing, but I might put it in. I've got another, what happened to my other ones that I made? I made a couple of other ones out of some other retired paper, so I might put it in that one. Haven't tied my ribbon around yet, but that's okay. Put the glue dots and just grab a couple. And then slide that in there and push it down without squishing the biscuits. And they're stuck in there. So what a great little gift for a neighbour or a teacher, or I was thinking even if you knew someone who wasn't well, you put a couple of Lemsip sachets in there and a pack of throat lozenges in there. You could use one of those snack size, Mars bars or anything like that. So yeah, lots of different things you could do with that, and I just thought that would be a lovely little neighbour gift or a friend gift that you want to have a cuppa with. So I hope you enjoyed those. So there's those ones, those two papers. I also made these ones again were a couple of retired papers. So yep, all you need is a full sheet of 12 by 12 to cut it down. So let's just bring all our projects in and have another quick look. So we got those two cards, and our little tea bag treat holders. So I hope you enjoyed making all of those, and as I say, if you wouldn't mind taking a photo when you've finished your cards and your treat holders and putting them up in my Stampin' with Linny group, it would be really nice for everyone else to get to enjoy those as well. So thank you for participating in the class. If you decide to whether you buy this bundle or if you put in any order before the end of this class month, before the end of July, that reaches $90. Was it $90? I think it's 90, isn't it? Let me just double check. Sorry about that. I do have it here. Yes. Yes, it is, yeah, $90 or more, you get the class discounted. So even though you've already paid, if you've already paid $25 for the class, I will refund you so that you only pay $5 for the class. So I'll refund you $20 if you put an order in of $90 or more before the end of this class month in July. Now, just to let you know, I have had to put that up. So going forward from August classes, the discounted class price will be $10 instead of $5 because all my kit prices actually include postage, and I've just found that the $5 discounted class price, most of that was being absorbed in postage, so I thought that was a bit silly. So I'm sorry, I've had to put that up to $10. But for this July class, it is still $5. So, yeah, I will, if you order anything, I'll see it come through anyway. But if you want to shoot me through a message to say that you're doing that, then that is great too. And thanks for joining. I hope you have had a lovely weekend, and I hope you have a great week. And I look forward to seeing what you've all made. Thanks, lovelies. Bye.